Ladies and gentlemen, I know a lot of people ask me to do updates to stories that they see on the channel. This is actually going to be one of a couple. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get there because police have to do their investigations. Sometimes it's the autopsy that might take time. Sometimes they might have to gather certain evidence or maybe even wait for certain people to come forward to say something, confirm it, or whatever the case is. But in this case, we just got back some information, and the woman that you see on my screen, the mother, if you could even call her that, is a mother of not one, not two, not three, not four, but she gave birth to 5 human beings. As you guys can see from her Facebook page, it says mother of 5, right? And with this story, I had a lot of things that I looked at and I said, you know what, this doesn't look right. These things look wrong. And I called some things out and people said, Jay, I think you're being too harsh. Well, it looks like I was right, because what I'm getting ready to do is give you guys some updated information. Some of the things that I say are not going to sit well with your sensibility. So if you guys can't handle a little bit of cursing, a little bit of emotion, or whatever the case is, then if you guys would do me a favor, and you might have to exit the channel if you can't handle that. But for everybody else, if you would, please listen with an open mind. Updated as of today, East St. Louis. An East St. Louis mother has been charged in St. Clair County in the deaths of her 5 children in an apartment fire in August. So this was back on my birthday. Very, very recent. Her name, let me see if I can get back to her face. I want y'all to see the mother's face. Right here. That is Sabrina M. Dunigan, 34 years old. And she is charged Wednesday with 5 counts. Count it. 5 counts of endangering the life or health of a child, a felony charge. Online records indicate that there are pending grand jury actions in this case. A judge set bail at $75,000, but right now she is not in custody yet. But this is all still going in the right direction. Don't flip out about the $75,000 yet. This is all still kind of preliminary, okay? Now, Dunigan's 5 children, who are all younger than age 10, died in an apartment fire on August the 6th. The blaze was reported at about 3 a.m. on the 2nd floor of an apartment building at 560 North 29th Street after the mother Dunigan had gone out. Quote unquote. Authorities alleged that she left her children unattended. And if they don't give some of these details, I'll tell you guys exactly what happened. Dunigan could not be reached for comment, but her father, by the name of Greg Dunigan, spoke to the Post-Dispatch, and by the way, I'm getting this from STLtoday.com, but spoke to Post-Dispatch about the charges on Thursday. He said he can't believe authorities would charge her with the crime after everything that she lost. That's where I start to have a problem. When a person is brought up on charges, I can't understand why people won't at least wait until the court starts to happen. Because if the police have enough to charge you and arrest you, it's something you did wrong. And if there's something you did wrong in connection to 5 dead children, don't you think that we should wait and see what happens in court first? Because those are some very strong allegations. I just flat out refuse to believe that the police are just locking up a ton of innocent people. Does it happen? Yes. Do they get it wrong? Yes. But more times than none, they actually get it right based on the evidence that they have. Okay? He said, why are they trying to do this to her? And again, this is her dad. She done lost all she can lose already. And they really wrote it how he said it. Why they want to take the rest away, meaning herself. She don't have nothing left. The news is these people are terrible. They don't look. They wrote exactly the way that this man said it. They quoted him directly, and they are not wrong for doing that. But he doesn't realize when he said she don't have nothing left, which is a double negative. That means she does have something left. But we're not going to be the grammar police today, right? Okay. The children who died were Loy-el Dunigan, who was 2 years old, Jabari Johnson, who was 4 years old. Let me see if I can get all of their pictures here at once. I know I have it right here. Best picture. That is the best picture with a compilation of all of them. Cute children, too. Loy-el Dunigan, age 2. Jabari Johnson, age 4. Twins, 8-year-old girls, Heaven and Nevaeh, which is Heaven spelled backwards. And Deontay Davis, who was 9 years old. That was the oldest. Greg Dunigan, her father, said his daughter does not have a lawyer. Please bookmark that part of the story. I'm going to read it again. Her own dad, who was the children's grandfather, said that his daughter does not have private counsel. She does not have a lawyer. So here's my question. Why do people believe so much in lip service? Why do people believe in just running their mouth and putting nothing behind it? No action behind it, no money behind it. Let me explain what I mean. Dad was real quick to pop his happy ass out there and try to defend his daughter, who was already being just levels and levels of irresponsible. Number one, having too many children that you couldn't take care of, having children by multiple men, having a thug boyfriend who tried to burn down your house the first time. Yeah, there was actually a time her boyfriend tried to burn down the house. Yes, y'all heard that right. The first time. And I actually saw that video for the first time. That man messed that house up to high heaven. Okay? Lastly, why are you so quick to talk about what your daughter didn't do, but you won't put a dime on her lawyer fees? Pay her retainer, Dad. You're a grandfather. You should be able to do that. Your daughter's grown. You should have some retirement, some savings, something, some more family members. If you truly believe in your daughter, why would you not put something on her retainer? Am I right or am I wrong? Let me tell you guys also where I'm correct. If you guys did not know, there was actually a person, and I think I still have that picture. Maybe I don't. I don't know. Yes, I do. I'm very smart. Just to let you guys know, DJ Just J is not dumb. I'm very, very smart. Okay? I'm going to show you guys something. See what this is, guys? This is a GoFundMe. And this GoFundMe page was put up by a person by the name of Austria Harrell, who was organizing this fundraiser on behalf of the biological mother, Sabrina Dunigan. Can you guys see that? Or do I need to break out my trusty whiteboard? Do I need to break out the whiteboard? Yes, I think I do. So here we go. Right here, if you guys will direct your attention to the center of the screen. Right there. See that name? Who the recipient is? Yes, that's the biological mother. Do you see how much they tried to raise for her? $5,000, $1,000 per child? Yes, that seems pretty reasonable, right? But what did these good donors, 560 donors decide to do? Oh, they went above and beyond because this woman lost everything. Everything? Everything. This woman lost everything. And they were going to put this towards the funeral. Now, what's the problem with that? What's the problem with that? Some of you guys did not know funeral expenses were already paid for in full. From the caskets to the performance to the plots to everything. Like Cat Williams said. Shout out to Cat Williams, by the way. That's my guy. That's one of my favorite comedians. So let me say that again. The funeral was already paid for. And on top of that, they died. And I think the state actually covered some of it too, if I'm not mistaken. But just know that the funeral was already paid for. So if it was already paid for, then that would mean that you didn't have to put any money towards the funeral. So if you didn't take the $22,600 and put it towards the funeral, then wouldn't that mean that you still should have the entire $22,600? Or is something wrong with DJ Just Jay? Is there something wrong with me? Am I missing something? $22,000 is in your possession. Hashtag, where's the money at then? Is $22,000 not enough to retain proper counsel, private counsel, a lawyer? Or am I tripping? But let's keep going. Let's keep going. Let's just act like we didn't hear none of those facts. And all of those are facts, by the way. Greg Dunigan, who is her father, he said, excuse me, hold on. Greg Dunigan said he and his wife lived in the same apartment building as Sabrina and her 5 children. Lived in the same building, but they actually said they lived in the same apartment initially, so they might have changed that. All were upstairs. The family of 8 were staying in a 1-bedroom apartment. See, so I'm not tripping. It says the family of 8 were staying in the 1-bedroom apartment, but Greg Dunigan and his wife were in a separate part near the back inside of the 1-bedroom apartment. Yes, DJ Just Jay, you have a question? Yes, I do. How is it physically possible? If y'all saw that building, let me see if I can bring y'all a picture. I want to show y'all another picture of this apartment building. Yeah. I want you guys to take a look at this. This is the apartment building that is burnt up. As you guys can see, this is not a large place. It's not a very big place at all. I put this on the screen so you guys can see it in its entirety. How many people do you think should be able to fit inside of that 1-bedroom apartment? If you ask me, I say 1. Because that's why it's called a 1-bedroom. So you had the mom staying there, that's 1. You had 5 children, that's 6 people. Then your father, 7, and your father's wife, that's 8 people. 8 people, 1-bedroom apartment. Wanted to stress that. Let's keep going. He said him and his wife were supposed to be watching the children when Sabrina left to go pick up her boyfriend, the same boyfriend that lit her first house on fire. The same boyfriend. And shout out to Illicit Deeds, because Illicit Deeds was the ones that make sure that I got that information. Left to pick up her boyfriend. She abandoned her children at 3 o'clock in the morning to pick up her boyfriend from work at around 3 a.m. Grandpa repeated that account again on Thursday, but added, "It just so happened we fell asleep." Him and his wife jumped from the apartment's 2nd floor to escape. And I want y'all to remember that you're talking about grandparents, elderly people, who are claiming that they jumped from the 2nd floor of an apartment hit the ground and they're not injured. If I fell off if I fell off some steps, I might turn my ankle, might break my ankle. How do you jump out of a 2-story apartment? Like, what? And you don't hurt yourself at all. And matter of fact, you were so quick to save yourself, you realized that something was wrong. And then you didn't go for the kids. So they jumped and left the children. Sabrina Dunigan had returned home that morning on her birthday to find her apartment filled with smoke and fire. So that means that she didn't even immediately go back because she was with her boyfriend. She has suffered burns on her arms and feet trying to reach her children but could not save them. St. Clair County Coroner Calvin Dye Sr. said that 4 of the children died at the scene and the 5th one at the hospital. Dye hasn't provided updates on the 4 who died in Illinois, but the St. Louis Medical Examiner's Office said Nevaeh, who died after being brought to the hospital, died of smoke inhalation, and the manner of death was classified as accidental. The fire has been under investigation by Illinois State Fire Marshal's Office. Questions have been raised after the fire about whether the children had been home alone, which is what fire officials initially indicated. And I want y'all to bookmark in your mind that her father is trying to come out and defend her. So don't think that they wouldn't have concocted a lie and said that they were in the apartment and they jumped from the 2nd floor, which doesn't even sound feasible at all for an elderly person. How many elderly people do y'all know that could jump out of a 2nd-story window? 2 of them, not 1, but 2, and not hurt themselves gravely. So I already think that's a lie. Christopher G. Allen, a spokesperson for the St. Clair County State Attorney's Office, said that the office doesn't want any reports released to the public about the cause of the fire until the case is prosecuted, because I told y'all, I think it's an arson. Who's responsible? I don't know. It's a lot of speculation. Sabrina Dunigan and her father have said that they suspect it was an electrical fire. They suspect, of course, that's what they said. We think it was an electrical fire. You're not the experts. Why would you be talking about it at all? Huh? Y'all hear me? They claim the cramped apartment lacked smoke detectors. Rodney McIntosh, a former police officer who was in the building, who's the building's landlord, however, said that he put smoke detectors in all of his rental properties. Charging documents in the St. Clair County say that Greg Vespa, an investigator with the State Fire Marshal's Office, alleged that Sabrina Dunigan had left the children unattended and knowingly caused or permitted a child to be placed in circumstances that endangered the child's life or health. That's where we are so far. In Illinois, a crime can be a misdemeanor unless a person's second offense or the child dies after being put in danger. Dunigan is charged with 5 felonies, each of which can carry up to a 10-year prison sentence. A parent charged with a crime after his or her own child dies may be sentenced to probation. So I want to throw that out there real quick. Let me give you guys the fair usage, and we'll go ahead and start with the news videos and my commentary that I initially did. Okay, let's get it. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. And by the way, if you guys are watching, do me a favor and please click that thumbs up. As many people who are watching right now, we want to have that many thumbs up. So if you guys will click that thumbs up, that would be awesome. So just look down for a moment. Please click that thumbs up. Okay? Thank you. Here's my original commentary. This video is about, 5 minutes, I think? Let's listen to what I originally said. Here we go. Let's talk about these. So I want to make sure that you guys have your underwear and your panties buckled on really tight. So if you don't have your panties or your boxers on real tight, I want y'all to make sure and buckle them up, because I'm going to say some things that are probably going to make you really jump out of your underwear. On July 24th, this was right at about 30, 31, 32, 33 days ago. The biological mother said, here we go, this never being able to sit down shit again. If I'm a Uber driver, just say det. Or that she meant THAT, but DET, I guess, means the same thing. So when I saw this post, I would assume that she was talking about this so-called friend that she was picking up from work. So why is it that anybody, and this is why it doesn't make any sense, and I'm talking about the mentality of the mom. If you have 5 kids that you're trying to take care of by yourself with no husband, then why would you be doing favors for anybody? If you are that destitute that you can only afford a 1-bedroom, not even a 2 or 3 bedroom that's paid for by Section 8, but all you can afford to be in is a 1-bedroom apartment, how didn't Child Services catch this? Then you shouldn't be helping anybody ever. You shouldn't be giving anybody a ride ever. You shouldn't be cooking for anybody ever. You shouldn't be doing for anything for anybody ever. I would give the shirt off of my back. No, ma'am. No, please don't. Okay? She said, welp, single again. Let me hearken back to what Illicit Deed said earlier. Illicit Deed said that that the boyfriend tried to set her house on fire before. Did y'all catch that? Illicit Deed said that the boyfriend at some other point tried to set this house on fire before. Can somebody please tell me what that says on my screen? That is a screenshot from the biological mother on July the 8th. What does that say? Kids irk. You can draw whatever conclusions you want to with that, but again, you have to remember, all I'm doing is painting a picture of why I believe that they need to do a hell of a lot more investigating, okay? What if this fire was set on purpose? Who set this fire is beyond me. I don't have any idea. All I know is that people are giving different stories and we don't know what's going on. What if we find out that this was done on purpose as opposed to an accidental electrical fire? Because the fire department is really good at what they do, and they're going to be able to find out whether this was an accident because the apartment had a faulty electricity or faulty electrical wires or whatever the case is, or if this was a fire that was set. What if this was an attempt on the life of those 5 kids and the grandmother and grandfather? What if? I'm just asking a question. Please don't get mad. What if the goal, regardless of whose plan it was to execute the grandmother and grandfather and all 5 kids, and then you can go on and live a happy life without them, since kids irk you, according to your own words? Now, is that far-fetched? I don't think it is, because I want you guys to think about this. How happy do y'all think that the biological mother, Sabrina Dunigan, was? How happy do you think she was living in a 1-bedroom apartment? Living in a 1-bedroom apartment with one person is already hard enough. But how hard is it when you add another person, and then 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 you're trying to balance that with a boyfriend? Look at that apartment. How pleasant do you think it was living inside that apartment? Do y'all think that they were happy living inside of that apartment? Does that look like a happy-go-lucky place? Does it look like a really nice place? Would you guys like to move your family in that apartment? Would you like to live in there? That seems like a pretty stressful situation to have to go through. So here's the scenario. What would mom's life look like with no grandparents? Because the grandparents are doing nothing but draining on her because they clearly can't take care of themselves as grown adults. They ain't got no place to live, living inside of a truck. Grandparents are draining on you, so clearly you don't need them there. You probably didn't want them there. What if you didn't have your children anymore? You're 34 years old. Could you make more children? Yeah. Clearly you're pretty fertile. It don't seem to be nothing wrong with your womb. You just had a child less than 24 months ago. And you got a new boyfriend, a fiance. I'm sure your fiance probably would like to have a family of his own with you, right? I'm sure he loves you and wanted to make kids with you. But how beneficial would that have been for him to create kids with a woman who already got 5 of them? And now look at this. Now she has none. 0. Mom has started over from scratch. Now she got none. How hard do you think it would be for mom to go make some more kids? What did the mom get in return for the loss of her children? Mom got almost $25,000 in Gofundme money that is not going to be taxed. It's going to be directly given to her, and she doesn't have to put a single dime of that money down on those children's funerals because those children's funerals are already paid for. And I hate to use this pun, but I have to. Where there's smoke, there's fire.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Lauren Traeger.
I gotta say, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. I like listening to myself sometimes. Maybe y'all find that weird, but I don't. Let's go.
Family of 5 children killed in a devastating fire in East St. Louis is speaking out tonight as they mourn an incredible loss. News 4's Gabriela Vidal spoke with those who knew the children best and shares their message for the community.
It wasn't one kid. It wasn't even 2. It was all of them.
Here we go.
Their message for the community.
It wasn't one kid. It wasn't even 2. It was all of them. She lost all her children.
Linda Barton crying for her daughter Sabrina Dunigan, whose only children are now gone after flames engulfed her East St. Louis home with her 5 children inside.
No matter what went on in her life, she was always with her kids. Good, bad, thick, thin, it didn't matter.
Today, Sabrina, seen here next to Barton, was surrounded by family outside of a memorial of balloons and stuffed animals created in her children's honor.
Be strong for her, pray for her. Right now she needs it. Everybody gone. She lost her kids. Right now
And this is the alleged boyfriend. They're saying this is the mother's fiance. Of course, y'all should know what fiance means. That means you have a ring, and that means you have a date. A ring, a date, a ring, a date. If you don't have that, you don't have a fiance. Why they continue to keep calling these worthless thugs fiancés is beyond me. This is mom's boyfriend.
everybody gone. She lost her kids. Right now she needs strength. That's all we can give her right now.
Travis Askew is Sabrina's fiance.
I love those kids like they were my own. I provided for them. I did everything for them.
9-year-old Deontay, 8-year-old twins Nevaeh and Heaven, 4-year-old Jabari, and 2-year-old Loy-el, all remembered for being bright young kids who smiled hard, loved food, and would do anything for their mom.
Jabari, I know right now he's in heaven asking God what's in the refrigerator.
You got any pizza? Got any hot dog?
And
What's that song he used to sing?
we love those kids, and we're gonna miss them.
At this time, East St. Louis fire officials have not released any information on what caused the fire, and the family tells me they are not commenting on the investigation. Loved ones tell me it's been frustrating to hear people criticize Sabrina for not being home when the fire started. Barton tells me their children were not unattended because their other grandparents were also in the building at the time.
And if you guys know where she is, if y'all are hiding her out there in that area, you could be harboring a fugitive, and you could also go to jail for that and face charges for harboring somebody who should be in police custody. She is wanted for arrest right now. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
We don't care what people say. We don't care what people think, and we don't care how people feel. It's about what we feel right here within ourselves that matters to us.
And that's the problem. That is just disgusting that people talk like that.
Our family haven't taken a hit like this ever. We devastated.
A family bearing an unthinkable heartbreak after 5 young children die in an East St. Louis apartment fire. Thanks for staying up late with us. I'm Casey Nolan.
And I'm Michelle Lee. Tonight, the community came together to show support for the grief-stricken mom who lost her 5 children. Robert Townsend has the story.
It's hard. It's hard.
It's unimaginable heartbreak, shock, and sadness for Sheila Dunigan and her family. They're mourning 5 young loved ones who died in an apartment fire on their mom's birthday.
Our family haven't taken a hit like this ever. We devastated. We're broken.
Relatives identified the children as 20-month-old Loy-el, 4-year-old Jabari, 8-year-old twins Nevaeh and Heaven, and 9-year-old Dante. They say their mom is 34-year-old Sabrina Dunigan.
She loved those kids. She loved those kids.
No, she did not love those kids.
Investigators say around 3 a.m. Friday, flames broke out inside this second-floor apartment on North 29th near State Street in East St. Louis. They say the children's mother was not home at the time because she left to pick up another adult from work. Firefighters say when the mom...
Her alleged fiance, that's who she went to go get at 3 o'clock in the morning. What do y'all think this so-called boyfriend does for a living at 3 o'clock in the morning? Y'all think that he was working some type of regular 9 to 5 or 5 to 9 job or some type of graveyard shift job? No, I don't think so. Think that man got to gets paychecks? No, I don't think so. Think that man files taxes? Probably not, but let's keep going.
Returned, she ran back inside the burning unit several times to try to rescue her children, but she could not reach her 3 girls and 2 boys in time. The family lived here for about a year.
No one knows facts about anything.
I just want everyone to pray for my niece because this is a tragedy.
A year and a half ago, 5 on Your Side interviewed Sabrina Dunigan after she told investigators that her ex...
Right here. Oh my goodness. This is it. This is it. That's the house that got burnt up. I did not see a clear video of this. That house is torched. Look at that.
Interviewed Sabrina Dunigan after she told investigators that her ex-boyfriend at the time intentionally set her home on fire. A family member says that case was settled.
Look at that. She blamed it on the boyfriend, but on the other side, on the baby dad side of the family, they're saying that Sabrina was the one that was responsible for this. It's kind of ironic. You got 2 of the same people involved in 2 different houses, 2 different fires. One, you're saying your boyfriend set the house on fire. And then the second one, you're saying it was an electrical fire, huh? That is so ironic and interesting.
A family member says that case was settled.
Thank God no one was hurt then.
Hours after the fire, dozens of friends, neighbors, and community leaders gathered here at the scene for a prayer vigil. It was their way to comfort this hurting family.
In spite of whatever occurred, Father God, you're still God.
Yes.
You are the one in which we live, move, and we have our being.
Lots of tears, hugs, and a growing memorial for 5 little ones who lost their lives. Robert Townsend, 5 Your Side.
Metro East mourning the loss of 5 children who lost their lives tragically 2 weeks ago. Today, they were laid to rest. News 11's Ty Hawkins spoke to church leaders who say the healing has just started.
5 children under the age of 10 sadly lost their lives in a house fire earlier this month. Today, the Metro East laid them to rest.
Our focus is on the family, and we're trying to find opportunities to assist them in getting through the tragedy.
Family and members of the Metro East community bid farewell at Greater St. Mark Church of God in Christ to celebrate the lives of 9-year-old Deontay, 4-year-old Jabari, twin 8-year-old girls Heaven and Nevaeh, and 2-year-old Loy-el.
They're a young family, young children, and they had a lot to live for.
Beautiful custom caskets were made for each child, the exterior representing them individually.
And these children were wonderful children. If you look at the casket, each casket reflects their personal desires, the games they play with, the toys they like, the colors they were interested in. That thing, so if you look at the casket, it's really a glimpse of their young lives.
The tragedy has impacted the community, who says it will come together to support the grieving family in their time of need.
Well, East St. Louis has always been one that will come together in a time of tragedy. And I'm not surprised. I'm just so thankful that even in a pandemic situation or season, that we yet still come together and support one another.
First on Fox, a vigil is continued for hours tonight in honor of 5 children who died in an overnight fire in their home.
Yeah, Fox News' Chris Hayes joins us now from East St. Louis with more on this emotional gathering. Chris.
Shirley, Sandy, not only emotional but also powerful, with so many people standing for 2.5 hours behind me. You can still see the candles burning in memory of the 5 siblings who died in that apartment fire. The community filled the area in front of the home starting right before sundown. Family, friends, even strangers gathered to light candles and pray.
Amen.
Amen. We learned it's Mom's birthday today. Then the aunt of the children stepped forward.
She's broken. It's hard for us to just try to say the right things to her. What can we say? She took care of her kids. She loved those kids.
Here's a picture of 3 of those children provided by their grandfather. That's Deontay on the left with his twin sisters, Heaven and Nevaeh, next to him. 4-year-old Jabari and 2-year-old Loy-el also died in the fire. Bommarito Automotive Group Skyfox captured the fire when it broke out after 3 a.m. Friday near 29th and State Street. First responders on the scene reported the children were left home alone while a relative left to pick up another adult from work. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. Here's the grandfather of the children, followed by a neighbor who watched the tragedy unfold.
I just can't believe it, man. I don't know. But all I know is God got his day for everybody to come home, and I guess he took them all together.
It broke my heart. It broke my heart so bad. That's gonna be the only image in my head from now on.
I want to rewind this because I want y'all to take a look. This is the grandfather that allegedly jumped out of a 2nd floor window to save himself, and his wife did the same thing. I want y'all to look at him and tell me, did this look like he jumped out of a 2nd story window?
Remains under investigation. Here's the grandfather of the children, followed by a neighbor who watched the tragedy unfold.
I just can't believe it, man. I don't know. But all I know is God got his day for everybody to come home, and I guess he took them all together.
It broke my heart. It broke my heart so bad. That's gonna be the only image in my head from now on. Them kids being brought up out of there. She was a good person. She was a good mother, whatever. I just want to get.
And you know what? And they use that term too loosely. I'm sorry for those who might not understand. And if y'all are watching, please click that thumbs up. Do us a favor and please share this. And if you do, that's all you got to do, to click that thumbs up. They keep saying, well, she was a good mother. She was a good mother. She was a good mother. Somebody please tell me, what is the definition of a good mother, first of all? And what made her a good mother? Let's see. She didn't work according to the family members. She only collected child support, and that's what she was living off of, according to the family members. Her house got somehow magically burnt up in the first house, and then she moved to a second house, and that house got burnt up too, apparently by magic. I guess the man up above must have did it. It must have just happened, divine intervention or something. I don't know. Had all of these eight people. It was 5, 6, 8 people living in a 1-bedroom apartment. What exactly made her a good mother? What is a good mother? Can anybody first tell me what a good mother is? All of the qualifications of a good mother, and then tell me, does she fit this mold? It seems like just if you're a mother, you're good no matter what. That means you're infallible, and infallibility, if that's a real word, is a bad thing. Being infallible is a horrible thing. Let's go.
My condolences to all of them, because I mean, I understand that's a hurtful feeling to lose all of your children at one time. It hurts. I'm literally feeling her pain for her.
Though the vigil ended about 30 minutes ago, there are still about a half dozen people around me by their cars, supporting each other. Often I saw people hugging in the middle of the street, sometimes people who didn't even know each other. Live in East St. Louis, Chris Hayes, Fox 2 News.
And I'm going to tell y'all something. I don't want y'all to be fooled, and I want you to remember that they claim that the grandmother and grandfather lived in a separate part of a 1-bedroom apartment. So what was that, the kitchen? Because there was only 1 bedroom. Was it the front room? Was it the bathroom? And if that was the case, if a fire started, which window did you jump out of a 1-bedroom, 2-story apartment that you completely omitted getting any of the kids out of there with you? You couldn't have grabbed the 2-year-old and jumped out the window? No, that's not possible. All of these children were less than 9 years old. Less than 9 years old. And if you go back and look at Grandpa, let me go back and show you this again. He looks like he's at least strong enough in the face. This man looks like he's at least strong enough to pick up a child and throw the child out the window along with himself. But just be like, screw it, fire's burning. Look, I'm going to tell y'all, here's what I believe. I think he's a stone cold liar. I don't think they were there. I don't think the grandparents were there. I think they're trying to cover for her. I think that they are lying to try to get their daughter off because they didn't care about these kids, because this woman had kids by a man that didn't really want to stay with her, and they didn't like him, didn't know him, and all they want to do was live off of that man, and he didn't want to continue to keep them living off of him. Then she had a baby by another guy that didn't want to be around her. And then she turned around and got a boyfriend who ain't nothing, and he don't do nothing for a living. They are all users. That's what it sounds like to me. And I'm going to tell you guys, the police and the fire department are this close to releasing the real story about what happened. And I think that they're going to say that this was an arson, not an electrical fire. They are good enough at what they do. They're going to release the true and factual information. They will find this mother. They are going to arrest this mother, charge this mother, sentence this mother, and they need to throw more charges on top of that because she abandoned her children at 3 o'clock in the morning to go pick up her boyfriend from work. Well, how did your boyfriend get to work in the first place? And if your boyfriend has a job, why does he not have a car to get his own? I'm going to try to mind my words. To get his own black butt to and from work. If a mother, and I want y'all to understand where I'm coming from. If a mother has this many children, this mother should be helping no one. You know, like I said earlier in the video, you know how they say that people want to give the shirt off their back? No, ma'am. No. Not now. Not ever. Please don't. Women who are mothers and single mothers should be the last people ever to be helping anybody. Why do I say that? Because people ought to be helping them. You ought to be getting help. Not only should you be helping yourself, that's first and foremost, because she definitely wasn't, in my opinion. Not only should you be helping yourself, but you should be getting help, not giving out help, because the more you give out help, the more you neglect your children. And here at the AFC, we believe in advocating for children first. The children should have been your first priority. If your boyfriend didn't have no ride to get home from work, then you should have left his black ass right where he was at, and that son of a gun could have walked home from whatever job he had. You had 5 kids that needed you there all the time, all day, every day. That's why you brought them into this world. Can't be there all day, every day? Why bring them into this world then? See how that is when you have to hold people accountable for the choices and decisions they make, and then they want to cry, woe is me? Then maybe we need to start raising our children to be responsible for their actions and not let them believe that everybody that gives birth is infallible to criticism. We could at least start there. Start with some damn accountability. All right? Thank y'all for listening. As soon as that story comes out, we'll do another update. Thank y'all for listening to the story with an open mind and an open heart. All right? We got more to talk about.